The 400-pound hacker who Donald Trump once blamed for meddling in the 2016 election is going to have to make room for some rogue killers who Donald Trump today suggested may have killed Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. The extraordinary claim has ignited a firestorm of criticism from Democrats, but more importantly, it ignites a crucial line of questioning into what exactly Donald Trump is hearing from his own intelligence community. Did the CIA director write in the president's PDB that rogue killers could have targeted Khashoggi? Did DNI codes tell Donald Trump that rogue killers are to blame? Did Gina Haspel, CIA director, brief that information to the president? Today seems like a very good day to invite the U.S. intelligence community to Capitol Hill in open or closed session to brief members of Congress on what exactly the U.S. intelligence community knew about Saudi Arabia's plan to lure and detain Khashoggi before he disappeared, especially since the intelligence community's #1 client is telling a story that is unlikely to be coming from his CIA briefers.
We are going to leave nothing uncovered. With that being said, the king firmly denied any knowledge of it. He didn't really know. Maybe, I don't want to get into his mind, but it sounded to me like maybe these could have been rogue killers. Who knows? We're going to try getting to the bottom of it very soon, but his was a flat denial.
It's a message he underscored in a morning tweet. Quote, just spoke to the King of Saudi Arabia, who denies any knowledge of whatever may happen to our Saudi Arabian citizen. He said that they are working closely with Turkey to find answer. I am immediately sending our Secretary of State to meet with King. And for a president who's had an uneven relationship with his own intelligence community, it is eerily similar to his refusal to accept the opinion of the intelligence community on Russian meddling.
I believe that he feels that he and Russia did not meddle in the election.
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial today. I accept our intelligence community's conclusion that Russia's meddling in the 2016 election took place. Could be other people also. There's a lot of people out there.
Democrats responded with biting criticism. Here's one, Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut, who tweeted, quote, been hearing the ridiculous rogue killers theory was where the Saudis would go with this. Absolutely extraordinary. They were able to enlist the President of the United States as their PR agent to float it. And here's Virginia's Tim Kaine tweeting, quote, President Trump's response to Jamal Khashoggi's disappearance reveals a man more willing to trust authoritarian leaders than reliable intelligence. It's insulting to Jamal's family and colleagues that this is what's coming out of the world's most powerful office. We'll talk to another Democrat about these comments in just a few minutes. But before that, let's hear from our reporters and friends. Former acting director of the CIA, John McLaughlin, joins us. Washington Post White House bureau chief Phil Rucker, Associated Press White House reporter Jonathan Lemire, and John Heilman, co-host and executive producer of Showtime's The Circus, and an NBC and MSNBC national affairs analyst, joins the table. Let me start with you, Director McLaughlin. Take me through what it says that time and time again, the president's reflexive response to any sort of crisis is to trust the authoritarian leader telling him something on the phone before and above his own intelligence community.
Well, Nicole, I think the president has a severe case of what I've always called he told me disease. In other words, many policymakers have this reaction when a foreign leader lies to them or tells them a story that may not be true. With the President Trump, it's a kind of epidemic. We've seen it with, of course, as you pointed out, with President Putin. We've seen it also with Kim Jong-un, and now we see it with the King of Saudi Arabia. I mean, just on its face, a whole series of questions arise. For example, if these were rogue killers, who were the people in those 2 Gulfstream aircraft, 15 or so, who were going in and out of the embassy, the consulate there in Istanbul? So it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I think it's another evidence that the president is very susceptible to persuasion by anyone who flatters him, as the Saudis did so magnificently during his trip there. I think that's what's going on here. It's hard for me to believe that our intelligence community would have given him that conclusion.
Can I put you on the spot? Do you think there's any chance that the word rogue killers exists in his PDB or was briefed to him other than for the intelligence community to describe that as the Saudis' alibi at this hour?
Well, of course, Nicole, I don't know, but I would doubt it. It may be a theory going around. Of course, one theory going around is that this was intended to be some other kind of operation, a rendition operation or something like that, where they were to swoop in and take him away, and it went bad. And I could construct a scenario under which that could happen. And also I'm impressed that MBS has really gotten rid of a person I thought was the most sophisticated intelligence chief we had in Saudi Arabia, that is Mohammed bin Nayef, the former crown prince. So
he's in house arrest, is that correct?
He's in house arrest of sorts, and so it's imaginable to me that Saudi intelligence can be awfully ham-handed. But that's sheer speculation. And again, how do we explain, 2 aircraft, 15 people, these reports of bone saws and all of that? Of uncertain origin, those reports, but nonetheless, they're out there.
Phil Rucker, can you take me inside the White House reaction to having their boss, to having the president once again at odds, or we have good reason to believe that describing the motive or the scenario that ended up in the death and or disappearance of Jamal Khashoggi as rogue killers. The Turks claim to have audio recordings of his brutal murder. There are U.S. intelligence intercepts of that we had knowledge that the Saudis planned to lure him and detain him. What does the White House say when the President of the United States takes to the cameras and talks about rogue killers?
Well, the administration has tried to be very cautious as they proceed day by day with this story, in part because it's still unfolding before our eyes. You mentioned the audio and video recordings that the Turks are purported to have showing evidence of Khashoggi being killed at the consulate there. The U.S. government, at least as of this weekend, has not seen those recordings. The U.S. does not possess them. Trump actually said that he has requested them and hopes to see them very soon, but has not seen them yet. So they're not getting all the information that they need from our partners in Turkey. They certainly don't seem to be getting the full version of the truth from the Saudis. But again, what you have is the president sort of taking a foreign leader at his word, even though there are indications in the U.S. intelligence report that he's been seen, that he has seen and that we've been reporting on for several days, that there's much more to the story than the denial that King Salman gave him.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.